Apart from the fixed administrative charges, there are two major components of any commercial or industrial electricity bill, namely energy charge or consumption, expressed as kilowatt hours, and demand charge, expressed as kVA. That is essentially all you need to know. Remember, kilowatt hours denotes the amount of electricity that was used, and kVA signifies the demand portion. If you don't want to do the maths, you may press the stop button and go make yourself a nice cup of tea. However, if you really want to know what it means, pay attention. This gets a bit complicated. If you're not familiar with the term peak demand, please go to the main menu and view our feature called Peak Demand before you watch this presentation. It'll make much more sense to you if you have some understanding of the term peak demand. Before we see how much electricity costs, we have to understand how it's calculated. When you buy petrol, they charge you by the litre. When you buy electricity, they charge you by the kilowatt hour. For constant power, energy in watt hours is the product of power in watts and time in hours. The kilowatt hour, symbol kWh, is a unit of energy equal to 1000 watt hours. In physics, power is the rate at which work is performed, and the unit of power is the watt, in honor of James Watt, the 18th century developer of the steam engine. So when you use 1000 watts for 1 hour, that's a kilowatt hour. The kilowatt hour is most commonly known as a billing unit for the amount of energy delivered to consumers by electric utilities such as Eskom or a municipality. Now here comes a problem. The formula for both kVA and kilowatts is volts times amps, and is apparently the same thing. However, there is another factor involved with kVA. Explaining it is a little bit more complicated, but please bear with me. In an alternating current or AC electrical supply, a mysterious thing called power factor comes into play. Power factor is simply the measure of efficiency of the power being used. So a power factor of 1 would mean 100% of the supply is being used efficiently. A power factor of less than 1 means the use of the power is inefficient or wasteful. In the real world of industry and commerce, a power factor of 1 is not obtainable because equipment such as electric motors, welding sets, fluorescent and high bay lighting create what is called an inductive load, which in turn causes the power factor to become less than 1. For example, a large electric motor will typically have a power factor of about 0.85 at full load. If we have a hypothetical electric motor rated 100 kilowatts, then ignoring the inherent efficiency of the motor when running at full load, the electricity supply would have to supply 100 divided by 0.85, which equals 118 kilovolt amps, to provide the 100 kilowatt to run the motor. Or, put the other way, they would be supplying 18% more electricity than they are charging you for. For that reason, the power utility measures maximum demand in kVA because the current drawn is dependent on the power factor for the same load, and the current drawn is calculated with kVA. The fact that the client had used the service inefficiently is ultimately his problem, and he should therefore make up the difference. The important thing to remember is that energy charge or consumption is measured in kilowatt hours and demand charge is measured in kilovolt amps. However, PowerGuard is not concerned with the power factor at all, because that's an entirely different discipline. We merely explain the reason for the demand charge being measured in kVA. PowerGuard raises the efficiency of an electrical installation by managing it in such a way that the generation of a peak is curtailed. If you want to know how PowerGuard achieves this, please go to the main menu and select PowerGuard. For actual results achieved by PowerGuard, please select Verification of Savings on the main menu. If you're interested in reducing your energy expenditure and significantly the drain on our country's electrical grid, please visit our website at www.pendulum-energy.co.za, where you will find all our contact details.